My personal conclusion is that Goulart's and Brizola's recent actions on agrarian land reform will lead Brazil to a communist government control similar as Fidel Castro in Cuba. Lincoln Gordon, U.S. Ambassador.
I think what he would probably do is something like, more like populist person. Well, now, there's nothing I can do about what Goulart is there.
Goulart has made verbal blows to green and yellow nationalism. Leonel Brizola, governor of Rio Grande do Sul, expropriated 2 American companies, ITT and American Foreign Power Company. Such actions are a threat to U.S. economic interests and are regarded by us as totally unacceptable. Goulart's communist attitudes represent a growing danger. I believe it to be an appropriate time for an official United States government invitation, including visit to Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska.
Media operations, labor operations, helping to support strikes, planting false articles in the newspapers, that kind of thing, which frankly is the CIA's bread and butter in a lot of countries where it's trying to orchestrate instability and overthrow.
Imagine if the Brazilian government were to have funded Barack Obama, had spent $30 million on the campaign in the last campaign, or they had sent money to support the governors of Florida or California in the electoral campaign. Imagine the outcry in the United States if they had done that. Yet Gordon saw nothing wrong with the United States government funding candidates in the campaign, the anti-Goulart candidates in the election of 1962.
O governo norte-americano passou a mandar dinheiro, muitos recursos ao Brasil, aos opositores de Goulart no Brasil, sobretudo aos governadores que faziam oposição a João Goulart no Brasil, para financiar uma campanha de enfraquecimento, uma campanha de desestabilização do governo João Goulart, com o propósito de impedir que, por exemplo, ele fizesse o seu sucessor ou que ele próprio, numa manobra qualquer, conseguisse se perpetuar na presidência da República.
Goulart has won the plebiscite that restores full presidential powers. Having won more than 80% of the votes, he gained important popular support.
But the question really is how our attitude towards it. The main thing is, at the same time, to organize forces which both political and military to use to reduce his power.
So it was under the Kennedy administration that the CIA first started to expand its operations in Sao Paulo and other parts of the country. Gordon himself, he was more CIA than CIA. I mean, he was pushing for all sorts of intervention.
Since Goulart's street rally in Rio de Janeiro, there has been a radical polarization of attitudes. Goulart is now definitely engaged in a nationalistic campaign to promote basic reforms that go against U.S. economic interests. Goulart is accepting the active collaboration of the Brazilian Communist Party and of other radical left revolutionaries as syndicalist union CGT. Heading the Reformas de Base is Goulart's leader of the Labor Party, Deputy Bocaiúva Cunha.
Are you willing to accept communist support?
If they want to give us public support in the reforms we need for Brazil, then we are.
Don't you think there is some danger of the Communist Party taking over your program?
Oh, absolutely. Communist Party in Brazil is nothing, you see. It only exists in the proportion of the stupidity, of the blindness of the elite who doesn't want to see that they can't not maintain in such a big and powerful country their privilege and their positions, without giving to the people, to the masses of the people, their minimum needs.
Here, Brazil, heavily infiltrated or controlled by the communists, erected through a Goulart-Brizola manipulation.
It looks like Goulart may take them into a communist regime.
We are undertaking complementary measures to strengthen resistance forces against Goulart and encourage anti-communist sentiment in Congress, armed forces, press, and church groups.
1 milhão de pessoas saiu à rua para dar graças a Deus pela derrota do comunismo na Marcha da Família com Deus pela Liberdade.
Confidential. General Castelo Branco, Army Chief of Staff, is a highly competent, respected officer, devoted Catholic, and admires United States' role as defender of freedom. Military Attaché Vernon Walters.
Hello?
Mr. President, this is George Ball.
Yes, George.
We had a meeting this morning with Max Taylor, and we decided on the basis of the information that had come in this morning, go ahead and start a naval task force out, but with no commitment. I would like to indicate that I'd like Bob McNamara to get some tankers ready for some POL supplies, things of that sort.
From Department of State to Ambassador Gordon, the following decisions have been taken in order to render assistance to anti-Goulart forces. Immediate dispatch of Naval Task Force for covert exercises off Brazil. Dispatch of U.S. Navy tankers from Aruba. In Puerto Rico, assemble shipment of 110 tons of ammunition, light equipment, and tear gas for mob control. U.S. Sink South Naval Task Force to consist of aircraft carrier, 4 destroyers, 2 destroyer escorts, and task force tankers. Initial destination is Santos. CIA, top secret, eyes only. Goulart must be removed in a hurry. São Paulo and Minas Gerais governors have definitely reached accord. The trigger is a military uprising led by General Mourão Filho. Troops will march towards Rio de Janeiro.
The mobilization by the U.S. military to conduct what in the old days, the early 20th century, was called gunboat diplomacy, where we would overthrow small governments in Central America simply by stationing an armada of naval ships off the coast. Well, that was the idea that Lincoln Gordon had for Brazil in 1964.
Every disposition here is to be ready to support those elements who would move to prevent Brazil from falling under an authentic dictatorship of the left, heavily infiltrated or controlled by the communists.
For the first time, Brazilian plotters asked whether American Navy can reach southern Brazilian coast fast.
In the end, the coup succeeded so quickly that the U.S. military forces never were needed to help regime change directly. But had the fighting dragged on, we might well have seen an overt policy, an overt intervention from the United States.
Confidential, priority. I am mostly pleased to say that the elimination of Goulart represents a great victory for the free world. Rio de Janeiro has been taken by a democratic rally with crowds surpassing those of the carnival season. Leftist and communist elements are being arrested under the national security law. Lincoln Gordon.
You advised President Johnson to recognize the new Brazilian government as quickly as he did?
Of course.
In connection specifically with the rapidity with which it was recognized?
Yes. The action that was taken by President Johnson was in response to a specific recommendation we made on Thursday afternoon, late Thursday afternoon, April 2nd.
But obviously it was taken only after the recommendation was considered by his own advisors in Washington.
Hello?
Sir, we've got a message that we want to send out to Castello Branco on the occasion of his inauguration. They reckon there's a difference between Gordon, who wants to be very warm, and our view in the White House, which is that you ought to be a little careful while this fellow's locking people up.
I think that there's some people that need to be locked up here and there, too. I haven't got any crusade on them, but I don't want them, I wish they locked up some before they took Cuba.
More routine message would be desirable at this stage.
Well, I'd be a little warm. That'd be mine. I'd lean over a little.
Inspirando-me em Ronald Reagan, quero levar para o Brasil a sua forma de administrar, resumida na seguinte frase de sua autoria: o povo deve dizer o que o governo pode fazer, e não o contrário. Os Estados Unidos mudaram em 2017 e o Brasil também começou a mudar em 2019. Estamos juntos para o bem dos nossos povos. Queremos uma América grande e um Brasil grande também. Mais uma vez, expresso meu reconhecimento ao presidente Trump, neste dia em que selamos a aliança promissora entre as duas maiores democracias do Ocidente. Que Deus abençoe o Brasil e que Deus abençoe os Estados Unidos da América. Meu muito obrigado, senhor presidente.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I thank you very much for your attention. I'll be glad to answer your question.